Good morning, traders. I don't know what's a bigger storm right now going on. Is it the storm that's outside of my place or the storm that's going on in the markets today? Find out right here on live trading. We'll see. Can we get back into the green today?
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's bring on the boys. The boys are here. We got Ryan Faloona. We got Nick Brown in the house. We're ready to get after it. Like always, good morning to everybody in the chat. Good morning, traders. Let's get to the markets. Let's take a look at what's going on today. Of course, we got Nick Brown to cover a lot of the news that's out there. We'll continue to see if the AI stock continue to drop. Don't worry. This morning, I didn't have anything to yell at Ryan that I wanted to short, so I won't be getting in the pre-market. We don't have an easy trade like Nvidia today. At least I feel like I don't think it's going to be easy trading today at all. I think if anything, it's going to be a little bit choppy. Why? Because now we're starting to have a lot of pessimism go really quickly into the market, and it's normal. It's normal to see that come in, right? When you started seeing stocks like Upstart go down like the way they've done, when you see a stock like Carvana give good guidance but end red, things like that are really quickly going to start turning traders away from trying to go long. And then quickly, what are they doing? They're buying puts. They're buying puts. What did I see on Twitter streets yesterday? A whole mess of people talking about how they were buying puts. So that's why I think today we could get a little bit of a bounce. So be careful, team. That's one thing that I always talk about, how the market loves to hurt where it can hurt the most. The psychology is quickly trading to the bearish side. So we could get a little bit of a bounce. Does it mean this is going to go all the way back? No, but I would be careful seeing that we could still drag today, but it's been pretty bad already. We've already had a pretty decent correction. I think we could get a little bit of a bounce, go back to 450s on the SPY, and then see the hit later. So just be careful out there, team. Let's keep looking at trades today. I got XOM, my only swing trade, and where we're at, 110, baby. I've been literally stair-stepping along with this trade the whole time. You guys remember earlier in the week when we were looking for that 105, 106 recovery. Look at that. We're looking great now in oil. And if anything, this is looking negative for the outlook of inflation in the long run. I'm looking at WTI this morning. We were in the 84 handles earlier, now back towards 83.60s. See if we can hold 82 on any pullback. If we stay towards 84s and 85s and 86, I think that energy eventually just rips towards the upside. You can see it in the XLE. A lot of these stocks have been just pushing as of late, and we could be making our way back towards the highs. We'll see what happens there. On oil, now to kick it to my man Ryan. And of course, we'll have Nick Brown take over in just a second.
All right, folks, good morning and welcome. Mitch, I liked your opening there about how it appeared that the sentiment was that people are buying puts, so we'll probably trade to the highs today. That seems about right. That seems about right for this particular market, so we'll see how it goes today. Looking at SPY here, we're still kind of sideways. Ranges for me are going to be, in fact, let me see, do I have this other one up here? No. Ranges for me are going to be 444 to the downside. It would be the all-time high level for the upside, so that's going to be about 480. There was also another spot in here at about 462-ish, so it's going to be your upside spot versus your downside spot. I still think we inevitably come back in, but maybe not today. Like Mitch said, maybe this will kind of be a bounce day. As far as trades that were taken, if you recall, I did take Disney short prior to the print yesterday. It was looking real good until they announced that they're going to crack down on password sharing and increase the price of their streaming service. Now, I got a couple of thoughts on here, and I'm going to just give you these thoughts, and I'm going to have Nick cover the rest of it because there was a lot of news out of Disney. First things first. So this announcement is probably going to trash my puts. My puts have 8 days until they expire. They were the August contract designed to capture this event, so those are probably going to expire worthless unless we see a precipitous sell-off here today. However, I don't think the news is good here at all. Disney Plus had one of the worst content packages available on streaming, and now they're raising the price on one of the worst content packages in streaming. To me, that is not good news, and over the course of time, that's actually going to be a negative. Unfortunately, it probably is not going to make my trade profitable, but we'll see. Now, let's go through some let's go through some small stocks here real quick that are definitely setting up for today. I'm going to turn it over to Nick. First one here on the list is going to be EDBL. This is Edible Gardens. They reported earnings today. Looked pretty good. Popped as high as 198 and really kind of flagging in here between 175 and 2. So what I'm looking for here, volume expansion, take this stock to 2. Maybe we break through that round number. That should give us a trade. We're right below the VWAP here. So watch this one, especially right out of the gate. I'm not taking any position here in the pre-market, but definitely watch this one. Next one is going to be Smoke Tuna's MF. We tried trading this the other day. This absolutely punished me, but we are getting a bit of a pop here this morning. Now, again, we're right under VWAP. Now, I didn't see any news. Yep, no more news has come out since then. So I didn't see any news on this, but it does look pretty good. We'll see if we get the volume that we need to really trade these here today. MF on your radar. The first stock here on the list, by the way, this is CPRI. This is a stock that was bought out. So I don't really think there are going to be any other trades here on this today. My size, this did pop, but it's really kind of come back in. Not interested in this at all unless it can firm up or give any other type of catalyst. VTGN, this one was crazy the past couple or several days ago. We did pop in the after hours today, but it is looking fairly weak here in the pre-market. So unless this finds some support, I think this one might be kind of the flash in the pan there. Zila, we've traded this one here before. Look for a rebound and a VWAP reclaim on this one. Definitely going to need volume. Soundhound, this is one of the AI plays. Be careful with some of these AI plays. Some of the AI air might being let out of that bubble right now. And I think some of these small cap stocks are likely not going to react to it all that well. I'm not going to keep babbling. Nick, go ahead. I'm going to turn it over to you. I'd be happy to drive for you if you want.
All right. Do you want to start off with Disney?
Sure. Whatever.
All right. We can start off with Disney. Earnings per share came in at $1.03. Estimates for 99 cents. Revenue $22.33 billion. Estimates for $22.51 billion. Disney Plus subscribers, 146.1 million, estimates for 154.8 million. Parks, experiences, and products operating income, 2.43 billion. Media and entertainment distribution revenue, 14 billion. ESPN Plus subscribers, 25.2 million. Estimate was for 25.8 million. Now, on the call, there was tons of headlines coming out from this. And we're going to get to headlines. They're raising prices. They're cracking down on password sharing. Let's just start with on the call. So on the call, Disney expects full year CapEx to be $5 billion, lower than the prior forecast. Disney expects park margins in 4Q to exceed prior 4Q 2022. Also regarding dividend, pre-market prep was talking about this. The quote from the CFO says, we still expect to be in the position to recommend that the board declare a modest dividend by the end of this calendar year, with the intention to recommend increased shareholder returns over time as our earnings and free cash flow power grows, end quote. From the call, there was tons of headlines. I'm just going to pick out a few of them that I think that are worthy. Walt Disney CEO Iger said cruise ships are at 98% occupancy for Q4. He acknowledged there's some softening in the Central Florida tourism. He also says that they're focused on not just reducing the number of titles that the company releases, but also the cost per title. He said the company is rationalizing the economics of its streaming business to deliver sustained profitability. He said that 3.3 million signed up for ad-supported version of Disney Plus. They will launch Disney Plus ad-supported subscription offering in several countries across Europe and Canada beginning November 1st. They talk about cost cutting better than expected. So let's get to the raising prices part. So they're going to raise the price on ad-free Disney Plus to $13.99 per month. That's starting October 12th. They're increasing the price of Disney Plus and Hulu without commercials, but it's leaving the price stable for the products with ads. Their streaming division lost $512 million in its third quarter. They're launching a new premium duo product of Disney Plus and Hulu without commercials for $19.99 per month. Now, on the crackdown sharing with how Netflix is doing it, they says it is actively exploring methods to stop accounting sharing on its streaming services. The company expects to share more details at the end of this year and begin rolling out tactics in 2024. We know this follows Netflix, which has been rolling out a new account sharing policy in recent months. Going to be very eager to hear how this policy is coming. Is it just like Netflix? What are all the details regarding that? Because I do know a lot of people around my area do share Disney Plus passwords. That will be coming to an end soon. Overall, on the Hollywood strikes, Iger said he hopes that we quickly find solutions to the issues that have kept us apart these past few months. He said that there is nothing more important to this company than its relationships with the creative community. That's all on Disney. And, basically, a lot of people said this wasn't a great quarter overall, and I get that just because they're losing subscribers. They did miss on Disney Plus subscribers. They missed on revenue. They missed on ESPN Plus subscribers. And remember, Disney is in talks with MLB, NFL, and NB National, the Basketball League, MLB. There's so many opportunities that I can't try and keep in mind that they're trying to partner and see. Are they going to be investors in Disney Plus? How are they going to come with Disney? What streaming services and partners are they trying to get? That's probably going to be coming more in the next few weeks and months to come as we get into football season. Ryan, if we can move to, I know we did get other earnings, but we're going to talk CPI just because that was a big print this morning. Just if you could throw up a chart of SPY. We did spike after the release, and then we've come down a little bit. CPI month over month for July, 0.2. Estimates for 0.2, so right in line with expectations. Previously was 0.2. Core CPI month over month, 0.2. Estimates for 0.2. Previously was 0.2. CPI year over year, 3.2%. Estimates for 3.3%. Previously was 3%. So we did get an uptick in inflation by 0.2% year over year. And U.S. core CPI year over year, July, 4.7%. Estimates for 4.7%. Previously was 4.8%. It's still the lowest annual core inflation since 2021. Now, I was trying to go quickly through the release as we started the show just to see what increased and what decreased. What increased in June was, in July was shelter, motor vehicle insurance, education, and recreation. Auto insurance prices jumped to 2%. I believe month over month from 1.7% in June. They decreased airline fares, used cars and trucks, medical care, and communication. Airline fares this month was down 8.1%. That was, again, down from 8.1% in June. And used cars and trucks down 1.3% month over month. June, it was 0.5%.
Okay. Awesome report. Right on time. We are about to open, Nick. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll cycle through all the others.
Awesome.
App, Love, and Illumina, Sono as we come through the show.
App, Love, and Going here too.
Ryan, do you have Disney Plus, by the way? I was going to ask you that.
No.
Are you in the streaming business at all? Do you have any streaming services?
No. I have cable. I'm about as old as it gets. People refer to me as the dinosaur, as if I'm the only one. So
you're not the only one. I know some people that don't have any streaming services either.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I'm waiting for the big streaming service that has everything that they call something like cable.
The package. We've alluded to that here on this show.
Edible Gardens going here, long a little bit at 178. Looking for a move here above. That would be really great. Let's go. A little bit more size there at 188, making a run at 2. Let's go, Edible Garden. Have a stop in so the trade can't go red. Stopped out. And then it bounced right beneath. I still think that this probably tries 2 here on Edible. 1 for 1 on that, but that one was pretty much flat. MGIH you guys are looking at? Okay. See if that's going to break. No, see, that's just not. There we go. Sorry, still watching Edible Garden here. Looking like it's going. Long 184 here. Come on, go to 2. You know you want to, Edible Garden. You know you want this. Why are you playing with everybody? 194, a little bit of size there that they took. A little bit more size at 195. They took the... Okay, they didn't take all of it, but almost. I wouldn't be shocked if that goes back up there, honestly. Right back on here in Edible Garden. This thing's going for 2, folks. I will catch up with the chat here in a sec. I'm sorry, folks.
Someone says that you don't look that old, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm thank you. I appreciate that. I get that a lot. I just feel old because I have cable and other people make me feel old. It's funny too. One of my buddies switched to Hulu. He's like, yeah, I dumped cable. I got Hulu. It's so much better, blah, 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 blah. I went to go visit him a couple of months later, and it was nothing but frustration, including his wife. And any of you out there that are married, you know, if the wife is upset, boy, you done messed up. There it is. Edible Garden through 2 took that. Okay, awesome. So that was 3 trades in order to get that. Oh man, we're going higher here. I actually took out on that spike. Edible Garden going higher here still. Great job. Matthew, Zunaid is focusing on other things, right? Zunaid does some of the interviews on All Access. He does the Trader Bacon show. He just split his time to other endeavors here at BZ. Nothing actually, quote unquote, happened to him. It was just kind of rearranging some of the seats. He'll join us here. He's invited to join us here anytime too. He's got a pretty busy morning slate. And remember, Zunaid has works for multiple jobs. So unlike us, who just put all our eggs in one basket. He's doing good as far as I know, though. All right, Edible, what we really need here on Edible is a pullback. A little bit of a pullback and a firm up would be ideal. Nice catch, Ryan. Thank you. Thank you, Crow. Much appreciated. Let's see. Ryan, how old are you? You don't look that old. I'll let you guess that. I don't necessarily want to give my age out. Carmen, great call here. Edible could get as high as 5. High of 6. High of last 6 months is 514. Excuse me. Edible still going higher here. Definitely piked that one. Sold it a little bit too soon. WeWork. This is more like we worked, right? That thing is almost bankrupt. 16 cents there. Lee Auto was higher. The auto's still going here. Really need a pullback on EDBL. That was a good move out of the gate, though. So those Disney contracts that I got were crushed. So instead of they're down to a 7-cent ask. So I'm just going to kind of hang on to them and hope that Disney just plunges at some point, and then I can get out of them. Ryan is younger than I. All right. Well, there we go. Born saying, Ryan, did you watch the NG video? No, I didn't. I think you emailed that to me, didn't you? Why don't I have it?
Did it maybe go in your spam folder, Ryan?
I'm sorry. I was laughing at something else that's rather entertaining.
Check your emails. That's one thing.
No. It has nothing to do with Born. I'm actually still looking for that. Yeah. Let me see. What did you? Yes. No, I didn't. No, Berlin, I did not get that. And I don't think I searched my entire inbox. I don't know what happened. Let's connect. Shoot me another email, Born. Shoot me another email. I don't know why I didn't get that. I get emails from you all the time. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I will definitely watch that. I literally just searched my inbox and didn't. You sent it to my Benzinga email, right? Did not see it in there. I'm sorry, guys. I got a bit distracted by something here at work that turned out to be awesome. We'll just keep that one to myself.
All right, let's keep going.
Welcome back, Mitch. All right. By the way, we're getting that pullback on edible that we needed. VWAP at 197. That's where I really want to see it settle. Sorry, Mitch.
We're almost there to SPY 450, right? Straight up action out the gates.
Straight up, bro. And Disney straight down. Let's go.
It's almost
Mitch,
like
are you a Disney Plus person? Do you have any streaming services?
I've talked about this plenty of times, man. And
I don't remember. I'm too old. I'm too old.
I got you, man.
I swear to God, Nick.
I knew Ryan was going.
God.
I'll tell you like this. For Disney, it's all about strategy and streaming, right? And so you have to really look at the streaming services and understand what's their strategy behind it. So one of the ones that I recently just grabbed and just started checking out was Apple TV, right? And Apple TV does this. Their strategy is, you could clearly see it when you look at their originals. So their strategy is high-end actors, and then we're going to make originals from that. We'll make original stories, but we're going to go towards the high-end actors, the actors that you'd normally see in other movies, right? And so what this does for the normal consumer is that when you see them, you already have this attachment to that actor or actress. And so you're willing to watch the content probably just because of who's involved, right? I could show you a perfect example. I think it's Platonic right now. And that one includes names like, and I'll get you the actors' names. I'm so bad with that. Seth Rogen, and Seth Rogen's in that one. Of course, I mean, who doesn't know Seth Rogen, right? I mean, and that's what makes you watch their content, right? And then so I've noticed that style of content is definitely going to be more expensive. And that's why Apple doesn't have like 50 originals, but that gives them real content that someone would want to watch. That's where Disney is doing it, trying to do it right with Star Wars and going towards that brand and trying to do originals around that, right? Use a really well-known name, brand name like Star Wars, then make content around that. But they failed. They failed in this strategy. They didn't do well in the Star Wars content. They started it well, and some people liked The Mandalorian the first season, but they definitely don't like it the next season around. And then it gets to this point where now they've actually told you, we are going to cut spending on content. What does that mean? That means that they just want to make money from the content they already have.
That means AI generated new content that they don't have to pay a lot for.
Exactly. So they're looking at ways to do what? Cut costs, and make more money off of you. And that's not, I think, the success in streaming. How did Netflix get to the way they are now? They went ham into content. They went full on, we will lose money if needed, but we're going to find what content works.
Amazon did something similar, but not for content, right? They said, I don't care about profitability. We want to get into everyone's home.
Exactly.
Everyone's in one way or another. And then guess what, Mitch? Guess what they did after that? They turned on the profitability jets and the stock went absolutely bananas.
That's how you do it. That's how, first things first, right? Market share is more important than profitability first. Because if you can grab the market share, you can slowly adjust the model to go to profitability. Same thing DraftKings is trying to do. Same thing you'll see a lot of companies try to do. Another one that's on, there's the Apple TV shows. I'm actually enjoying them. I'm not even gonna lie. There's a couple of them that I've been enjoying. So
yeah, there are a couple of
Hijacked is pretty interesting. I'll show you guys a little bit.
I've heard from people that some of the Apple TV shows are pretty good. I don't have Apple TV like we just discussed, so I'm not sure, but
sorry that we're a little bit off the stock game right now. A little part of me is just letting this first action in the market just work in because I didn't jump on it to the upside. So that's another reason why I'm not jumping too much right now. I'm letting the stock get that quick pop, and we'll see at 10 a.m. if we want to continue a trend higher. So that's another thing that I'm looking at. What you got, Brian?
I was just saying, Born said he resent the email. Born, I got it this time, confirmed, got it saved. I will check this out today. Appreciate that. I'm not sure why I didn't get it the first time you sent it, but got it now, confirmed.
What we'll do is this. I'm going to put this to the side for right now, and then we'll come back to it around like 10:30. How's that, team? Let's go make some trades. Nvidia straight up out the gates. What did I think would happen there is this type of move where it might kind of squeeze some of the shorts that were getting in late yesterday. And so I'm looking for a run back towards 433s, 435s, and then I could maybe go shorting Nvidia. But it needs to ride higher and then get hit. And so it's looking like that right now. It's like that squeeze out and it faked to the downside. So be careful chasing names like Nvidia to the downside. As I've talked about, that I feel like a lot of traders are going to be chasing downside action moves here. And that's easily how you get ripped.
That was the best, Mitch. The ability to not chase Nvidia yesterday was the best decision that I made in the trading in the market.
100%.
I literally kept telling myself, do not chase this. Do not chase this. And I didn't. I listened to myself, which is also half the battle, and ended up not sitting through this. We'll wait for this to trade back up and maybe reshort it there. Still an edible here, potential bounce.
There you go. I put edible on the screen, at least on my screen for you.
You're the best.
I got you, my friend. It's not a bad one.
No, VWAP here, I've got it at 202 here. Really kind of just bounced off that. I'm in a little bit here at 209. A break of the VWAP to the downside, I'd get out and just wait for it to reset. Remember, I've already got some profit here, so I'm not keen on giving that profit back. I'd rather take a small loss, exit the stock, and wait for a setup again. 211's got some size. They took it. 212, they took the size there. Giddy up. Here we go.
All right, let's keep going, team. Let's take a look around there. Crow had brought up GNS, Genius Group. Looking like a $1 rider. It might get to the $1 spot there. We'll see what happens on that one. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at the market overall. Let's go to the sectors. You guys know how I always try to focus on that. Healthcare straight up out the gates here. What's leading in healthcare today? It's been biotech as of late. Now diagnostics and research. Healthcare plans turning around today. All of them in the green except OSCR and BHG. But the big boys, yeah, they're in the green today in healthcare plans. Biotech still also in the green. So it seems like a healthcare day overall. Every sector up from the open. Drug manufacturers up. So definitely healthcare leading to the upside. Defensive names leading to the upside. Not probably what you want to see if you think this is a real rally back, right? This seems to me like names like PG, Procter & Gamble. Look, I didn't even know it was up. I'm just like immediately like, yeah, what could be happening here? It's a move to defensives that are probably grinding the SPY higher. Technology is up, but it's not leading. If it was leading, I would be feeling like this would be maybe more of a real tech rally. But it's not. It's healthcare, defensives, and utilities and energy that's leading right now. What does that tell me? That's kind of more of your what? Your value names, right? Of course, healthcare is going to have some of the growth outlook, but defensive, utilities, energy, yeah, we're talking more value names there. So value search right now is what I'm seeing in the market.
Okay. This pop right here took edible off because it's struggling.
I love oil. I love you.
Yeah, it's coming back in. Okay, I'm looking around because there's got to be some other stuff, and I feel like I might have spent a little too much time on this one, but we walked away with gains, so we're good. This was a great trade, Jay. In fact, you know what? Yeah. Okay. EDBL. Maybe this is finally the move. So the thing that it was doing, it was really wicking to the top side. So I figured, you know what? I've already got some profit here. I don't want to give it back. Maybe I'll just take it and move on. Here we go with another wick, but maybe this is the one where it finally goes. 220's got some size.
Oxy straight up out the gates there. That's one that's been doing really well on the day. I hope some people are playing this oil trade up higher. It looks really nice there. Nice little move there. And Oxy was looking for Chevron to also get up today. And look at that move. It didn't even come back to the VWAP. Now to 162. Let's take a look at crude overall. How's that working there? And it's not looking bad. I mean, keep your eyes on it. We'll look to see if it just stays above the 82 handle now. And crude going higher, man. That's not going to be a good outlook overall, but that tells me coal. As I'm getting a pullback in BTU, I'm looking to take a shot there on BTU. Just needed to pull back a little bit more. I would like it to go to 23s today, but it's hanging around this 23.50s. Could just catch the bounce here and go right back up.
Watch edible at 220 here, guys. I know we're still on the same stock, but watch this. There was some size there. They've hit it. It's real, and they continue to try to hit it. So watch 220 on edible. I promise, I really do want to move on to a different stock. I promise. It's just this one's given trades. Chart looks good. Intraday chart looks good. Action looks good. All right, here's 220. Watch for this to go. Oh, almost. They almost got it there. Third time's going to be the charm, right, guys? Let's see.
All right, seeing BTU pull back today. A little part of me wants 23.50s here, but I think we're going to have a deeper pullback there. And I think that's just based off of the daily outlook versus the intraday. So if I can get a pullback back towards, let's say, below 23s, I like on BTU. It's already taken off way too much in the last 2 days. It's about 12% higher. So I'm going to look for what? Pretty much like a 5 to 6% retracement, 50% of the recent move, and I'll join the party there. A lot of times I got to catch myself on days like that, right? A little part of me just immediately wants to jump into BTU swing trade right here. But the truth is if I go at it right here, I have to hold towards the low of the day, probably today. And then if I look at the daily outlook, I see it making more sense to come back to this 9 EMA. And so that's the harder part of trading, right? Do I trade the short-term action or do I look for a little bit longer term on the dailies? I always try to stick more with my daily approach than my intraday approach, because intraday can always fool us as traders. Now, one thing that it doesn't have a tendency of fooling us so much is on dailies and weeklies and monthly charts. Looking for coal to go higher today, steel higher today, copper ripping here too. So FCX had been looking like it was setting up there. Now a nice little up move to 43s. Daily chart looks good there for a 43 break. You can see it here. It's been trying to get through 43s multiple days, highs in the same area around 43.40s, 43.30s. If it gets above that 43.40s today, it'll be looking pretty good to fill this gap back up here into the 43.50s. And then let's see if it runs there towards those daily highs of 44.70. How's the edible life? Am I going to take some edibles today, Ryan?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm in this again. I'm waiting for that pop through 220. I have a stop at 207 here on a small part of the shares. Looks like it's coming back in. I just can't let the trade go red on me. This one looks like this is coming back into the VWAP. So we'll see here.
I think those are different types of edibles I'm talking about, but we'll get into that conversation a little later.
Yeah, sorry, Mitch. Focusing. Don't necessarily pick up on all of the jokes there, but
not a worry, my friend. You do you. Get that money.
Trying. It's gonna get stopped out here. It looks like though.
All right, looking around to see what's going on in the SPY. We're right there through the 450s. Now we're up there above 450s and
stopped out.
Kind of what you got that move right back up, right? I mean, a lot of people leaning bearish. What happens to the market today? Market comes up. That's just how it is sometimes, team. So now we need to see is if this is going to be a sustained rally, right? So now I'm looking for pullbacks to the VWAP to see if we go into more chop mode, or do we just keep driving through 451? If we drive through 451, I think we have a sustained rally here. We'll find out. Of course, this is my outlook. You guys take all my levels with a little salt on it.
Jay Rice giving us some info here on Freeport McMoran. This is, of course, ticker FCX. Freeport McMoran. Jay saying they've been buying the September 47s earlier this week. Looking at that contract here, 12,788 in the open interest. Looks like the 48. Excuse me. Looks like that's the 47. The 46 and the 47. Excuse me. Each have over 10,000 open interest. Maybe FCX goes there.
can see that. One stock that I'm looking at maybe potentially shorting is Carvana. This looks like it's already getting weak today, and it didn't go up today, and that's a good sign there. Nice rejection right now of the 41.75s. This could go lower today. We'll see what happens. Yesterday, I already wanted to short it, so I really had an opportunity yesterday when they gave me good news, and the stock just tumbled. VLO, that's been one that I've had in the past. It's continued to the upside. How's it doing now? Woo, 136, 137. Man, I remember I had this down there from kind of in the 120 range, 117. We'll see what happens now. This is ripping, man. 136. I mean, it's just oil is just continuing higher, right? Look at the XLE. I've been pointing this out on Start Swing Trade, how we held the 9 EMA, perfectly held. Now we're going to look to see it take off through the highs. Yesterday, we got through those highs. It holds the pullback today right towards yesterday's action, 88.65. Today's low, 88.46. So somewhere in the 88.50s range. There's probably some buying going on there. Now you're right back up there to 89.40s. What a nice little push there for the XLE.
I was going to say regarding that, a lot of people are now talking about that they think that the high energy prices are going to show up in the next CPI report.
Yeah, but they thought they were going to show it up in this CPI report too, Nick.
Yeah, that's a good thing to point out.
They're going to show up in one of them, guys.
In this one, now it's going to show up in the next one. You know, this is.
I'll tell you what it is, Nick, is that it's where the data is taken, right? We hear a lot of the times that data for the CPI report is taken in week 2 of the month. And so that's one thing that I would refer back to is always look at WTI and see, okay, in week 2 of the month, where was crude, right? And then after that, where did crude go in the last 2 weeks of the month? Because if it makes that move in the last 2 weeks of the month, it's probably not going to be in that CPI. It'd be in the future CPI. But this is just something that I've been looking at and learning from, just like I think we all can learn from this, right? This is something that I try to pay attention to often now, especially I've been trading a lot more oil this year and learning a lot about oil. So we'll see what happens. And this is why I think coal is ripping too, because energy is ripping higher. Coal's going to rip higher. This is why I'm not shorting also solar names.
13 has been on this for quite a while here, saying the year-over-year difference in fuel prices hasn't closed yet, but August is on track to do so.
We will see what happens if we get this continued spike, and it's just how it is sometimes, team. But oil coming right back up. And remember, I was actually shorting oil when we were down here. And so this is the important thing. We got to be able to flip. There's going to be a point in time where I feel like oil goes too high, right? We're going to move towards 90s. Eventually, that'll probably break too. BTU.
Look for BLND. This is a call by Crow here. This looks like this is trying to go higher. Real has a spot here at 274. Also, if it can break that, maybe it pops higher here. Let me mute some of my Slack noises here. It's getting a little crazy today.
Will we see 110 from Baba today? I highly doubt that one, but you can maybe get a little lift there, especially as the Qs lift here. First resistance coming into play for Baba is going to be around 102.50s. So that's going to be the first level that I'd be looking at. Second level that I could see is towards like kind of 106, 107. Then you'd get to the 110. You'd be breaking through 3 major resistance. That'd be a pretty strong move. Just to give you on average true range for Baba is around $3, $4. So what's the move already on the day? The move is already on the day, $4.80. That tells me something. That tells me that it's more than likely probably more done than it's just like getting started, right? I use this a lot, and I've been learning a little bit more about this on like kind of market structure edge outlook. Man, Tim Quas, shout out to him. Flip the market, Raz. All right, hold on a second. Let me hit this button on my stream deck. Just kidding.
I was going to say there's an interview coming up at 10 a.m. with the former NBC Universal employee, now ex-CEO Linda Yaccarino. She's going to be on CNBC. And the FT points out this morning, guys, that there's going to be that she's going to unveil this on TV per the FT. And Yaccarino will announce the decision to bring back the client counsel this autumn on Thursday during her first live television interview since taking the CEO position last month. I'm still going to be with Live Trade. I'm going to turn it on here. Listen to the interview and bring highlights as I can.
Did you say her name was Yaccarino?
Linda Yaccarino.
That would have been rough in high school, I think.
Yes.
Nick's like, yeah, trust me, I know that life. It's tough. High school's already tough.
I was just going to say, you could be Joe Smith and high school's already tough.
All right, guys, looking at Nvidia, might go short here, guys. And why am I doing that? I'm starting to see a little bit of slowdown here, and I'm starting to see the SPY slow down a little bit. So what do I see here? 1, 2, 3. I'm looking for one more attempt to go through that 434 and then failing. So we'll move into this space and then failing into that space. So push, fail, and then a breakdown back down. And so this is reversal action off of this. Of course, high risk, but understand what you're going at, right? I'm going to go for a short risk to reward for a bigger reward on the downside return right back to VWAP. There it is. There's that attempt for the break.
Real took out that spot at 274. There's more size here at 275. Got to think if this one falls, it goes. It's just kind of grinding here. I did take some here at 274 for the break. Didn't get the pop that I wanted. We'll stop if this doesn't keep moving up. Happy wipe day. If you know, you know.
There's Nvidia trying to break out above the 434s. We'll see if it fails here. And one of the things is I'll be waiting for the candle to close. The candle closes right back down towards the resistance. Let's see if it comes back to support now. Move above 434 is continuation. So, of course, if it goes above the 434 now, I wouldn't be shorting it. This is also an hourly outlook too, and I think that that's important too. If you look at the hourly outlook, you'll see resistance on Nvidia off of the candle from 3 p.m. yesterday. You had a high of 433.75, so that's where I'm looking at as resistance right now, 433.75. There's double top now at 433.75 showing up. I'm still waiting here because the action needs to show me that it wants to come back to 432s before I go quickly short.
Yeah, I'm still focused on real here. This is a huge spot here. They keep reselling 75. But I think if this breaks, we probably go.
SPY pushed through that 451 with a big candle now. And it just goes to show you, man, was anyone probably calling out the SPY straight up out the gates here? I don't think there was many people. It's crazy how the market works, right, Nick?
It is.
Yes.
I know you asked Nick, but I think it's crazy too, Mitch.
It's like I said it in the pre-market, guys. It just started being that everybody started leaning too bearish. This is what the market will do to you. Does it mean that it's completely coming back? Not really. I mean, we don't know that yet, but I can tell you one thing is, yeah, just you see the down action, you see the pessimism come in really quickly, and then the market likes to do what? Squeeze those shorts out. All right, let's go back here to Nvidia.
The stocks that I'm buying today are moving slowly, which is annoying. That frustrates me. I'm not going to lie.
No action that tells me to short Nvidia now. It needs to come right back down here. Look at the 1 hour candle, how it closed at that resistance and then now starting to hold that as the pullback. That tells me don't be careful here, because if it could reject that hourly level, then yeah, I can short off that hourly level. But if we're going to make a move back towards the up move on the next resistance, that's a move through this candle, 436.10s. And the next thing you know, we're right back to 440s. So what ends up happening, a lot of people get shaken out of Nvidia shorts that were probably short all day yesterday and being like, I got Nvidia perfect. And then they woke up today.
Market changes just that fast. Great call here, Bex. CLSK's Clean Spark. You've talked about this one before. I feel like this one ripping out of the gate here. Looks like they had earnings last night on CLSK. Huge move. That would have been a great gap and go trade. Was not on that one.
I like to see that one. Clean Spark does like to rip. This is an actual known ripper in the past, and I like when they're known, right? What do I mean by that? Is look in the past. Look at the daily charts. Look at how much volume this stock trades when it pops. It's a big volume mover, and so I think that that helps you in a name like this. Remember how I talked about how certain names earlier in the week, like, and I'll just bring one to mind, Buru, that was trading very low volume, things like that. That's why I would like more like a trade like Clean Spark here, because just the amount of volume gives you the liquidity to come in and out of this name. And so this is the type of stock that I would be, this is a penny stock that, I like names like this. And you see, I drew this beforehand when I created this on June 25th. It looks like we were looking at this on the 25th. So now let's expand this down and let's see if we can get pullbacks to the top end of this flag. So now that we're into this level, I'd look for pullbacks towards like 575s. That'd be my level to look for pullbacks today. If I look at the action right now, that lines up pretty good with VWAP right now, 571. So maybe 570s on pullbacks, 575s. Look interesting for me on Clean Spark.
All right. INFN holding above its VWAP. MGIH. This is one from yesterday. Really hasn't gotten going today. About 20 cents away from its VWAP, though, if that can trade back up there. GNS. This is one we've traded quite a bit here. GNS. This is moving nicely, bouncing off its VWAP for you penny players.
Remember,
still watching the reel too. Sorry, go ahead, Mitch.
No, go ahead. Remember, I talked about earlier that we wanted to see if we were going to see a sustained tech rally. We want the tech sec to make its way to the top of the sectors. Now it's just done that. And so now we need to see if this continued strength can stay there. And so holding VWAP pullback on tech names is what I'd be looking for to see the continued strength. So if they can hold names on pullbacks to VWAP, like let's say Apple's up today, right? Microsoft is up today. Google is up today. If those can hold VWAP pullbacks, I think we can continue on this uptrend today. If those break VWAP, that's where you got to be able to start being a little bit careful. And technology is getting hot, and so is consumer cyclical. Those areas are very much entwined right now because if the market goes up, you're going to probably have consumer cyclicals following there. So that's going to help leisure names like even Baba to continue riding, specialty retail names like Baba to continue riding higher, JD's riding higher. Those look strong today. Resorts and casinos probably doing really well here. Wind is actually in the green. It's up 2%. Getting a little love today. The XLE has been good. Yeah, the XLE has been good. It's been good to all of us, Jared, at least those oil bulls.
Yeah, Bitcoin is strong, 13. What were some of the other stocks doing? Let me actually check. I didn't see them on the scanner.
No,
but that doesn't mean that they're not moving.
I missed my pen opportunity. I know they were going to buy.
I was going to say, while we're on pen, right before this interview is about to hit, it's very interesting, Ryan, because yesterday after the close, we found out that Dave Portnoy bought back Barstool Sports for $1. And
how much it's worth,
Entertainment will take.
And what did he sell it for?
What'd you say?
How much did he sell it for?
They bought back Barstool Sports for $1, and Penn Entertainment estimates that it will take a loss of as much as $815 million on Barstool.
Yikes! So you're telling me that Portnoy sold it to them for $500 million and bought it back for $1? That's a pretty good trade. I'll trade $1 for $500 million. Anyone want to take the other side of that? Crickets.
And I'll say Linda Yaccarino is going to be on CNBC at 10:15, but she's also live on Twitter Spaces. And this is going to be the I was just listening to her comments here. She says, quote, that she does take feedback. She is sharing their feedback with the team. So going to be very interesting to hear what this interview brings about. Is Twitter ever going to go public again? Maybe she'll touch on that. So what's going on with Twitter and now X, maybe why the name change. So going to listen in, write down some interesting things, and we'll bring back with the highlights.
Okay.
You got it. You got it.
Jay's calling Brush, looking at Brush here. This thing is wild. Just be careful with Brush.
So remember right now what's helping it is that the market's going up right now and we're getting these smaller names to get this momentum push. But remember, if the market turns around, I can
Yep.
see a lot of these turn right around too.
Absolutely.
So it's helping it right now that you're getting stocks to rip up, right? Like let's say like this stock was getting just pummeled yesterday. But look at the reaction today.
Yeah.
Roblox, like this was getting destroyed yesterday. Just straight pummeled, but it's coming back today. What is that? That's just a bounce back, right? Now the only question is how far do these bounce backs go? But the X ticker is already taken. Yeah, you know where it's taken from. X gonna give it to me. They gonna give it to me.
Never, it will never fail to make me laugh, like ever, ever.
Oh man. X is coming down. Field's coming down there. BTU still pulling back. And went back down to 23.35s. Now back at VWAP. I'm keeping a close eye on BTU. I definitely want a piece of it, but just needed to pull back a little more. It's not pulling back much. And I was watching this sideways consolidation. It just ripped up that day and never pulled back to 22 on Tuesday. She's live on Threads. That'd be funny.
Brush, huge pullback. Huge pullback on Brush here. Just
wait, did you just say if that would have been funny if she was live on X or on Threads?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to use Threads until it's a real-time web app. It is too hard to use from the iPhone. So, yes, I'm on Threads. I don't really use it that much. But once we get the real-time web app, I will most likely be posting on Threads much more.
There you go. All right, now we're getting a little bit of some topping filing coming in a little bit here. We'll see if that hangman candle is able to hold here. Will it kind of give us a little bit of an evening star and then a hangman here? Looking at the SPY on the 5-minute here as it starts to slow down a little bit here. Will the Qs kind of slow up here and then come right back down? Nvidia is coming right back down through that 43.75, and this is when I come after a team. So I'm going to take my shot here. Boom. Just got short a little bit there of Nvidia. I'm going to hold it off 436 right now. So 436 is only about a $3 risk. I'm looking for this to come right back down, maybe towards like 428, 426. So that's not a bad outlook here. I'll take a little bit of a risk here. Of course, this is a smaller position because it's a more expensive stock, but it gives me the ability to give it a little bit of room here and look to see if I can hold off here. So I'm going to already set the risk here. 436.20s is what I have at 426.24. I have a stop there. So now I'm going to look for this to come right back down and come back to VWAP. VWAP is the first stop, which is 428.64. And then I'd look for it to come right back down. And of course, this is more on an hourly basis. So I'd like this candle to go red, right? Open greens, it opened, and now it's coming back through that level. So now it's going to go red. I'd be looking for the pull back to 428. 433.75 is a good level to watch that hold now. Not really test above that. Maybe it goes in wicks to 434 now, but I'd want to see it pull back. So I'm taking a shot. We'll see what happens. Quantum saying market's trying to turn. We'll find out. YouTube has been funky past few weeks. Yeah, I've seen a lot of things funky last few weeks with like internet. Yeah, having some internet issues.
Yeah, it's not just internet too. It's specific sites and all types of stuff like that. You're not the only one that's seen that, Mitch.
Yeah, I'm seeing it, and I notice it when things just start like, you know, just not working as quickly. Especially when you have a really fast computer, right, Ryan? Like us, like when things
it's easy to spot when something is down. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, excuse me, websites come up in less than a second for me. So if it's not coming up, there's something wrong here. Ryan's like, you better not get my bird.
Just looking at Cleo, making sure he's okay. The cat stopped hunting him this morning, so I got that going for me.
There you go.
Ryan, you should make a documentary out of that. How the cat torments the bird.
A documentary. I guess I can try that. I need Mitch to produce it. I need Mitch's producing skills to
I got you, man.
I need Mitch's producing skills to take over for there. Watch Brush here. If this curls back up, it's really, really spread. So be careful if you buy it. But it looks like this is trying to go through 5. Just needs a little bit of buying volume here, and bang, I think we go through.
All right, guys, I might take a shot here and looking to see if we can get a little bit more downside action. And that would be going after maybe Sox S for the day trade action here, right back up. So I'm looking at Sox S. It would be a move back towards 980s, 10. So that's not too bad. It's about 30-cent outlook for a 10-cent risk. So 3-1, right?
Here goes Brush.
I'll put you up for Brush.
Took that. All right, Brush. Let's go. So I've clawed back. So I'm down $19 today. Okay, I'm down $19 right now through all my positions. But don't forget, I started the day with Disney puts that are going to expire worthless. So I started out of the gate minus, and I've clawed back to nearly green. So far, so good. That is a confidence builder for the rest of the day on any of the other trades that I take. By the way, out of real, this is just moving too slow out of there with a $30 gain.
So I got it, Ryan. So you're going to start recording the cat. You got to put a GoPro on him so we can catch him when he tries to get Tweety. And then we're going to put Sylvester's voice on him the whole time.
That would be so good. By the way, Brush going more here.
And then we'll use Tweety's voice for the bird, of course. And then we'll be like, the putty cat is not going to get me.
Oh, man. First of all, I have a Bears jersey. for the cat, and he hates when I put it on him. By the way, Brush, massive knife. This thing knifed from 520s to 470s. I'm going to stay away from Brush. I feel like I'm going to get myself hurt if I go back into this. I'm going to stay away from that. Anyway, I have this jersey, and he hates when I try to put it on him. I shudder to think what it would be like trying to strap a GoPro to my cat. Now, what other things that this is actually a pretty good idea. I would like to get a little camera that goes on a cat's collar that goes outside, and then track where the cat goes and see what the cat sees throughout the course of the day. That would be cool.
Yeah, the other day I saw a huge, I think it was a carp, like a fish with a GoPro camera attached to it, and watching it just swim around. Oh, it was pretty dope.
I mean, that's wild.
That's wild, right, Ryan? This guy,
that's wild.
He caught the fish, attached the GoPro on it, put it on the fishing line, and just threw it back in and said, "Go for it, baby." The things that people do nowadays. All right, let's see what else is going on out there, guys. EMPH from the low of the day. I like it here. Meow. Get it? We've been talking about cats over here. Meow in the chat over here. All right, let's go take a look here. ENPH, yeah, nice little lift off there. And I talked about how solar could get the lift, and I'm not betting against it when energy is going this higher. And so what is the leading sector again in technology today? It's solar. Look at the last 2 days. Look at the daily chart. Nice little reversal and V-bottom shapes. V-bottoms are dangerous to short into because the truth is it's kind of like a dead cat bounce, right? And so you got to be careful. Is it just going to dead cat bounce and come right back down? That's one thing that I'd be thinking about here. But the truth is, I don't think there's edge on both sides because the XLE is going higher and higher and higher. And if energy goes higher and oil goes higher, for some reason, solar loves to go higher because it's considered energy. So look at First Solar right back up there. I would be careful shorting solar names. That's just me. Just shows me that if First Solar is not going to break 200, come back towards 180, 170, I want nothing to do with shorting solar. Lucid above 7. We won't get into that conversation. I'll be nice. Be nice, Mitch. Nvidia coming right back down, guys. And I do want to let you guys know a little bit of a preview later today to definitely catch, guys. Don't catch our Driving the Future with Electric Vehicles coming up. That's coming up at 11 a.m. We got interviews from all over the EV industry, batteries, charging plays, EV plays. Don't miss it. That comes up at 11 a.m. I think that's run by my man, Chris Ketchy, of course. So if you guys don't want to miss the catch today, you might want to be there.
Excuse me, Tom is asking Mitch and Ryan. Oops, clicked on the wrong one. Mitch and Ryan, are you still swinging VKTX? Tom, I never bought this.
I never
This
bought
actually,
it. I liked it.
yeah, I liked it. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, it does look good here. I have no position on this. Sorry if that was and by the way, brush 450s now. Glad I stayed away from that one. But anyway, Viking note, no position here. Another strong day here today. Just kind of looking at this. I really want to see this taken out. 1563 still looks pretty good here. This is definitely 1516, 1520 area. This definitely a resistance area on VKTX. This chart actually looks pretty good for a swing, but I'm not in it. Does this have options? Yes, it does. Interesting. And we've got considerable open interest in the 17 and 18 September contract. Do they have data?
All right. I like that.
Okay, real quick. Is anyone following the developments at VKTX? Do we know if they have data due or anything like that here? Definitely seeing some interest in the option chain in the September contract, and I don't really see that in the November contract or the January contract. The concentrated volume seems to be in the September contract. So I'm wondering if we have any type of event or data due out on VKTX. If you know, let me know.
All right, team. I'm looking at it right now to take some NVDS on the Moomoo account. So I'm looking for some pullback here to get long some NVDS. I'm looking for a pullback back towards 810s. So I'm going to start putting an order there, and I'm going to put a decent amount on this one. So that's for the Moomoo trade. We'll see what happens if I can get a pullback to 810. I need Nvidia to make a little bit of a move towards 434s, but it's already breaking. It might not even do it for me. I mean, I'm already short Nvidia in my other account, but I was looking for some more action.
So real quick here, we had this discussion yesterday, a couple of things. I'll be very, very quick. Jay Rice, VKTX looks okay here. Don't forget it competes with NVO and LLY on the fat drug. I think the semi-glutides is actually going to be one of the things that raises a lot of both. So I wouldn't be surprised if this too also saw a benefit despite them competing, but that's a really good thing to keep in mind. That's number one, VKTX. In fact, I might even take some of these contracts here. Yeah, EYPT still squeezing. Glad I didn't sell all of it. That's awesome. And then the one more, now I forgot what I was going to say. Son of a bee. I was going to say something and I forgot. Well, if it's important, it'll come back.
Well, certain stocks breaking right back down. Just keep your eyes on it because it could be that kind of ugly turn here as I'm starting to see stocks get to the upside and slow down there. Qs slowing up. Big thing for us to watch now, 374.50s. Continuation for the Qs on the upside. SPY, 451.50s. It could come back down to 450s on trying to catch the VWAP bounce there. And that's an important level to watch for. 450s on the SPY was important for me earlier. We'll see if it's able to hold that on pullbacks, but looking great here in Nvidia, already back down to 430s, deep in at least pretty good away from my entry here. 433s, 34, looking good. And I was also looking for NVDS there, but just wasn't able to be quick enough. You got to be faster than that, Mitch. It was at 810s, now already at 1819s. Also was thinking about success today. Reversal there. We'll see what happens. Bunch of names moving around. Success.
I remember. The third thing that I was going to say is we actually had a discussion last night about potential Nvidia shorts. Remember, they had a huge guide that they have to live up to. Unsure if they're going to do that. Maybe some of the air in the AI bubble is coming out. Who knows? But when we were talking about this, Mitch, one of the things that our former analyst who joins our show suggested was that in order to keep people safe, don't go shorting Nvidia, because if you wake up and Nvidia is 600, you might be out of luck, big time. The contracts are expensive. They can go to zero if it goes the wrong direction. Pretty much a binary event. One of the things that he suggested was NVDS. So I love your approach of going after that here in the small account. Might do NVDS myself, buying NVDS, which will appreciate as the price of Nvidia comes in, and hope for some of the air to be let out after that earnings print. I like that approach towards shorting Nvidia.
Yeah, it just had to be quick today. I really like to pull back to yesterday's price action. So I'll show you guys what that is. And so that's when you look at the NVDS, I always look at daily charts, right? What did I do immediately? I said, okay, if you can come back to this high price action here where it was resistance and created as support, that looks good for kind of inside candle type of day. And it was a little bit above. So it's not really an inside candle, but it's above from the wick action, right? So if this could come back through the highs here of 840s, oh, MVDS looks amazing. That could happen just as easy as later today or tomorrow. So I like this pullback. And, I'd be risking off probably like right below here towards like 8. I wouldn't want it to break this candle low of yesterday, which was 793s. So we'll look to see if this can go right back up. Nice little pullback there. Where do I see Nvidia going? That's the harder one. I could see it trying to come back into this gap space. So letting up, going to 400 would be like the first spot. 420s is the first spot too. If you're looking for closer support, 420s. Then I have down here towards like this 405, 400 space. There's a little bit of a gap here that it could fill first. And not that many people point out that gap. They point out that big gap below, but there's a little gap here. And so that's kind of like the first gap that I'd be looking at for it to get into. And I'd be selling a lot of it into that 400. Remember, this is not a call out that Nvidia is never going to make money in AI. This is a call out that the trend is now broken. And I'm just looking to ride the momentum trend a little bit down. You're on mute, Ryan.
I think that's a good point that you're making there, because when you say that you're going to short a stock, that doesn't mean that you think the company is garbage. Nvidia is a leader. It is a great company. I use their cards. I'm probably going to buy another one, but I just think that the stock price is overvalued, and I'd like to capture some profit on a regression back to the mean. I lost my train of thought yet again. I am on the struggle bus here today. No, it was Rustam. Rustam was asking me. Sorry, Ryan, can I ask about DNA? The volume every day is around 24 million. Is it good, or does volume mean nothing? Well, volume definitely doesn't mean nothing. Volume will often determine whether or not a trade is going to work. Volume is the second most indicator. The second most important indicator behind price, in my opinion. What you're talking about here is its average volume. Its 100-day average volume is 23.84. Here's what I would do. Compare that to the float. The float here is 1.3 billion. The 24 million shares on a stock that has a float of 1.3 billion is not notable. I don't want to say it's meaningless. It means something, but it's not really notable. When this thing starts to trade 100 or 200 million shares, that's when you're going to start seeing pronounced moves in either direction.
Guys, I was going to say the interview with CEO Linda Yaccarino is ongoing. Just some highlights initially, still listening in here through Twitter Spaces and I hear on the TV. Linda Yaccarino says the X rebrand is representative, quote, a liberation from Twitter, end quote. It's about developing, quote, it's about developing into the global town square that is fueled by free expression where the public gathers in real time. She says video chat's coming to X soon and users don't have to give their phone number. She also claims, quote, 3 out of 4, end quote, in X users community feels good about the rebrand. She mentions the rebrand means the company is not limited by legacy thinking. Now, Sarah Eisen, who's conducting this interview, she goes on to ask Linda Yaccarino whether whether Lindy really has control over this company with Elon Musk, and she says, Elon is my partner, but have complete autonomy to run the company. She says Elon runs the product designs, thinks about every new tech, and that he passes the baton to her. And so this interview is ongoing. Going to listen and bring some more highlights as we get them.
All right, guys, I do want to point to something that was just talked about in the chat, and this is what I always like to do for you guys. And if you're wondering why you see all that volume in DNA, I got one answer and one answer alone for you. It's right here. I try to zoom in here for you guys. Look at this. It's because it's the 15th top holding in ARKK. And you want to know how many shares Kathy has? You guys ready for this? Hold on to your pants. 113 million shares. I think she's betting on DNA a little bit. Right? Can you imagine holding anywhere near that? Like, I'd have a heart attack just breathing.
I mean, if I have enough tradable funds to hold that many shares of anything, dude, I'm doing good, bro. I'm probably golfing every single day of my life.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be trading no more. Let's just be honest.
I don't know what to tell you.
Like, I know people love to work, but to tell you the truth, if I had the money like Elon, would I be working anymore? No.
I mean, I would, but it would be selective things that I want to work on. I'm a builder at heart. I like to create and I like to improve on things. So things that I would be interested in, yeah, I would definitely still work to keep myself busy. But would I have scheduled 9 to 5 responsibilities and meetings? Nah, fam, not at all.
Nah,
I'd have tea times. That's it.
Exactly. Let's just say I'd own some sports team. That would be my thing, probably. I would just own some sports team. Be there every day. You know what I mean? I'd be that owner that watches every game.
Yeah. The real question is, by the way, Portillo's having a good day. Glad I added to that. The real question is, Mitch, is if you were an owner and you had an owner's box, would you be like Jerry Jones where you have somebody else where you can pass your eyeglasses to have them wiped down? Or would you do it yourself?
I mean, I wouldn't sit in the owner's box. That's not me, Ryan. If I was an NFL owner, I'd be on the field.
So your box is on the field.
Hell yeah, bro. Give me a chair on the field. I want to sit close to the action. I want to see. I don't want to question who hits hard on my team. I want to know who hits hard on my team. The sound is just as good as watching video sometimes, right, Ryan? In football?
Oh man, football, dude. Yeah, there's
you hear a
nothing
running
like
back hit a linebacker and just knock him down. Trust me, that sound is impeccable.
It's a reminder. And my dad used to tell me when he was alive. My dad used to say, "Look, Ryan, there are contact sports, there are non-contact sports, and then there's football, which is a collision sport. It is one step above a contact sport."
Car accidents waiting to happen. All right, Nvidia, big spot here, guys. We're back to VWAP. Do I take the money and run? That's where I start thinking. I think every trader is probably thinking at this time, right? I showed it Nvidia near the top there, and I'm seeing the gains. I'm like, do I just run to that right now? No, I'm looking for a little bit more because I thought this was going to be a trick day to the upside. Now the only question is, did the Qs hold here? Because if the Qs don't come back through VWAP and just hold up here, come back to 374, yeah, I could see Nvidia just going right back and squeezing me out. That's where it gets difficult. Like always, there's no one answer to this. What I would do is just stick to my original planning, and that's what I'm going to do. We'll see if
sorry.
One stock that I want to say that could maybe get a little bit lift here is SMCI. That's one that I wouldn't be betting too much against. But going to you, Ryan.
I was just wanted to ask Smoke Tuna what his thought was here on MF. I know he was trading this the other day. I want to hit because I want to get my money back, but I also don't want to be undisciplined about it. We did move back through the VWAP here. Just wondering what you see here, what the plan is here. I have no position in this, by the way, at the moment. Oh, looks like this is going to go higher here, though.
Oh, I agree. Rugby is insane.
Rugby is insane. I don't like it as much as football, but it is absolutely insane. Respect.
Those guys are a whole nother level. You got to have tough skin to play rugby. Let's just say that. It's like, how do they not have helmets nowadays? I don't know. They're straight savage.
What's going on with Holly? HLLY.
Holly Auto Parts getting a lift today. What's going on there, Nick Brown? You know we got our news guy. I don't search anymore. I got Nick Brown, bro.
What's going on? Sorry, I missed your question.
We're looking
HLLY.
Oh,
they had earnings.
Earnings.
They had earnings. They had good earnings this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
They even raised their full year outlook too.
Okay. So what happened was I saw it on the scanner and couldn't connect the news dots quick enough, but that's a fairly obvious one.
I was going to say, going back to this X interview, some of these responses on Twitter for how she's ill-prepared for this interview is hilarious. But let's just get back to the basics because let's just get back to the basics. So Sarah Eisen asks whether Linda has really control. We talked about that. Linda said at NBCU, her number one social partner was Twitter. She says, quote, by all objective metrics, X is a much healthier and safer platform than it was a year ago, end quote. Claims they've built new brand safety and content moderation tools, quote, that have never existed at this company. She also goes on to say that 99% of all posted impressions, quote, are healthy. And Sarah Eisen asks, what's healthy? And Linda says, quote, if it's lawful but awful, it's extraordinary. It's extraordinary difficult for you to see it. Sarah notes that Kanye West is back on the platform. And Linda says he'll, quote, operate within the very specific policies. This interview is, I don't want to say going very well. It's not also going very bad. But just some of the responses here that scrolling quickly through Twitter, someone says that this interview is painful. Linda is ill-prepared, and this is from Ivan the K. Linda is ill-prepared for this obvious line of questioning. This is going to mean a lot because, again, X. I don't know why we're calling it X to Twitter. I don't know if you're going to leave the platform, if users are going to leave the platform. Ryan, I'm still on Twitter. Mitch is still on Twitter. Ryan is still on Twitter. I'm still on Twitter. But just this rebrand has a lot of stuff questioning. What does this mean for the business? What does this mean? Now we have ad share paying. You can get paid now just for tweeting.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about this before when we were polling people saying, do we think Twitter is better or worse now? To me, it's not even close. It's so obvious that it's better. And one of the other things is that they're now trying to pay people based on the impressions that you get, really putting the power in your hand. Now, I don't think I generate enough impressions on Twitter. So maybe I'll try and increase that in an organic way as opposed to a cheesy way, posting memes and things that get clicks. No clickbait. We'll see if we can do that with content, but I think it's really awesome. Now, to your initial question about Threads, I'm not going to Threads, period. Okay. I'm someone that's never going, period, because I have an extreme distaste for Facebook, what they do, and Mark Zuckerberg, just in general. So to me, that's not even happening in at any point. But and then as far as the rebrand goes, look, I'm calling it tweeting. I know I talked to a lot of people that are like, I'm going to tweet. I'm going to X. I'm going to post. Look, I'm tweeting. I'm going to call it Twitter. When I say Twitter, everyone's going to know what it means. He can change the name to whatever he wants. It's Twitter, and I'm tweeting, and that's the end of it.
I was going to say, regarding brands coming back, Yakarino, this just making headlines, says Coca-Cola and Visa are brands that are coming back on the platform. She also touched on the interview with Elon Musk. Remember in his interview with David Faber, David pressed him on, what are you tweeting all your thoughts for 3 a.m.? What are you tweeting these harmful things? And Linda actually supports that. She says, this is a place basically where you can just share your thoughts real time. And this place is, I don't want to say harmful. She says this is one of the safest places just because Twitter is continuing to grow, or X is continuing to grow. But safety is their top priority on the platform. But tweeting, I don't understand, Ryan, and maybe Mitch, you can help me. I don't understand tweeting harmful things and tweeting misinformation is not harmful. Elon Musk has been cited by his own brand and by the community notes tab. And now community notes isn't going after Musk. They're just saying that he's the owner, he can tweet what he wants. But me or someone else like me or you can tweet something and it probably will get community noted and everybody will make big of it. But if Elon Musk is tweeting, everybody's just saying, yeah, he's the owner, he can just say what he wants. I think in the long term, that's really going to hurt their business just because brands don't want to be part of a community that's harmful and making lies.
Yeah, I think the community notes thing at the end of the day is inevitably going to make the experience better for everyone. If I put this on myself, if I tweeted out something that was incorrect, I would want the community notes to correct it. I don't want to be the purveyor of something that is false. And the other thing here about the harmful and the misinformation, I got to be honest with you, that entire conversation turns me off. And like if you were to look at like just kind of, and I hesitate to bring this up, but it really shows the example. If you bring up COVID, okay, if you take a look at COVID, there were a bunch of people saying you need to follow, quote unquote, the science. Let me tell you something about science. Science involves debate. It involves people with very, very bright minds discussing different viewpoints, different data that they find, and different experiences. Saying that you cannot talk about these things and that you have to follow the accepted, quote unquote, the science, TM, almost like with a trademark, that's bad. That's not good. So having some type of arm that's going to allow people to say what they want and then correct it if it's false, to me is way better long term than any type of censorship measure. And
No
so,
question about that. Just because us three, we disagree, I don't want to say a lot on this show, but we all come in with different viewpoints and we express that freely. We don't shut each other down like Twitter does. And maybe Threads is the new way to go, or Post. But remember, there's all these other Twitter 2.0 darlings that haven't really popped. Mastodon, Threads, Post, Blue Sky, or Blue Sky, however the heck you say it. All these other things managed to be Twitter 2.0, and that's not happening. And so now we have X. And what Linda Yaccarino is trying to do here is she's trying to make the platform number one, and she has. But a lot of it is going to be coming down with brand safety and protecting people on the platform, and talking about how you just can upright ban and muting people. I actually have to disagree with you, Ryan, saying that Twitter is better for now. I am not seeing that on my end. I'm getting spammed constantly with bots, with people saying negative and harmful things. I have probably muted this past week probably over 100 people, and I have probably blocked 15 or I continue to block 15 to 20 people per day. I don't know what their take is on trying to make it safety, just because if I post something that someone doesn't disagree or that someone disagrees with, yes, disagree with it in a respectful way, but not in a harmful spamming way. I think that's just taking it to a whole nother level.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh, but Jay said the market is pulling back on Ryan's speech. And LOL, that's funny as hell, Jay. So about the bots, really quickly, about the bots. I get followed by bots. I got followed by this bot. Looks like the bot's name is Emily. Emily has a very provocative picture for their Twitter picture, and the profile says a link to some adult love site. Now, I'm never going to interact with this. Okay, it doesn't. Is there any value from this? No, of course not. But this doesn't harm me or stop me from doing anything in any way. You know how many times people have said bad shit about me on Twitter? Man, I let that roll off my back. Like, who? It's the internet, bro. I've been on the internet for as long as I can remember. And people say all types of dumb shit on the internet. And I would not be able to live my life if I took seriously all the dumb shit that people said about me on the internet. It's the internet.
Right.
Let's have a discussion in person.
I was going to say, regarding Thread, she's just making this comment. She says, X is no stranger to competition. She says, Threads has dropped off dramatically, but can never take your eye off any competition, keeping an eye on everything they are doing.
I'll just say it like this, simple as this, guys. I've already said this before, and I think it's so 100%. We are not in the age of information. We are in the age of disinformation, where we get nothing but noise, not the truth.
I would largely, I don't want to agree with such a sweeping statement, but I would say I largely agree with that. I say that there's a lot of stuff that is manufactured, which is why I want to be able to pick through things and discover it, because I've always had the best success with that. Real quickly, I was filled, little bit of a pullback here. I was filled on VKTX contract. So I did buy the September 17 contract. I paid 90 cents for those contracts. I just bought a couple of them. So we're exposed to VKTX now. We'll see if that goes. While we were having our little rant there, SPY really kind of just reversed and sold off. It's actually still on the lows here. I brought it up here. Looks like we came right back to VWAP. Looks like we kind of want to go lower, though.
Yeah, I even like shorting Meta here. I'm even going to take a little bit. We already talking about social media coming down. Why not short Meta, right? I'm savage here, but I like this off of the 310s here. Might just go for a little quick trade here off of Meta. Short. Nvidia is looking great, so that's why I'm not even touching it.
God, Nectar,
I
this
might be
is,
late to the game there, so I'm going to wait. But Nvidia, nice little move down below the VWAP, and the Qs are making its way towards the VWAP as it made its way there. There you go. It's right there to the VWAP. Now we want to see if this is VWAP bounce or does it come right back to the bottom of the range of the day. If it comes back to the open price, that's where you really got to be careful. Opening price 371.06. That's where I'd be like, okay, yeah, we're leaking right back out. Raz says, I've been in and out of Meta 4 times. Hey, we'll see. And we are getting some downside action here coming into the market. I'd keep an eye out. Look how Microsoft went from green to red now. This is kind of what I was expecting. A little bit of a fake out to the upside. You get some of the bulls to come into the name. You get the shorts to get squeezed out. They're like frustrated as hell. Now they don't want to go short. Now the market's probably going to give us that whack down. We'll see what happens. I'm looking for it now. That's why I was looking even at Stocks S there. I even had the order ready on Mumu at 960s, but it never pulled back. It's already 975. I talked about the reverse off of 950s earlier today that made sense for maybe for a move to 980. That was a 10-cent risk, 30-cent outlook. You're almost there already. 3-to-1 outlooks is what I love trading all the time. Why? Because I only needed to be 40% accurate if I'm trading 3-to-1s and 4-to-1s. And guess what? I'm deep into the green. And if I only need to be 40% accurate, I don't know about you guys, but I think I can do that. I can be better than the flip of a coin, right? And so that's what I try to do. And try to repeat that every day, guys. We'll see what happens on the SPY. The SPY is trying to bounce off the 450 level. Remember, I gave that level earlier. Now we're back to it. 450 is so important for it to hold here. If it doesn't, it could come right back to the open. That's the next level to watch for. If it does come back down, a move back above 451s could give you that next lift to the upside. We'll see what happens. The battle's now on. Everything's green. Does things start leaking into the red? Basic materials is the first sector to leak into the red there. It was green, now going red there. So be careful on basic materials. Utilities slowly giving up their gains. Even energy starting to pull back. So I got to be careful with that move.
Real quick, MF getting some momentum. MF here really, it's actually this MFer, right? 13 really holding under 188. Snap of 188 might send it. I'm just going to go through a couple of things that the chat was talking about because I feel like I've just been diatribing too much. Ren B here, Smoke Tuna saying this is a decent setup. Ren B had a nice little pop. We're coming back into the VWAP. Actually really like this setup here on Ren B. We'll see if this, I have no position yet. We'll see if this one gets going here. PGen was getting mentioned. PGen was moving here. Let's see. PGen was moving. No position here. I don't see entry unless we come back to the VWAP personally on PGen. That's just me. And then Jay, you were asking TAST, right? TAST. You're asking if Jason still owns this. Does your boss still own this company? What a move. If we take a look at the daily chart here, this is a pretty sick move. I don't know. Let me ask him.
All right, guys, I'm getting to this point where I'm thinking about taking profits in XOM because I think we could come right back down. As I'm seeing here that we're near daily resistance on CL. It's either time for me to take quick profits here or I have to be okay with it coming all the way back. I'm up 7% on this position. That's something I won't limit and won't allow today. So I'm going to go ahead and set a stop here towards 110. If it breaks 110, I'll just take the gains and get out of here on XOM, oil name. Not giving up gains in this environment. This is the environment where I want to keep my gains, not give them back. So stop there already set, and it'd still be like kind of a 6% win there. Won't be too bad. So oil is see multiple resistance up at the 84 now, and that's where it's like, man, we could get some pullback on oil. And if oil pulls back, well, boom, I get smacked. So now I'm looking to see what goes in the red. What goes in the red here is very important. There's Apple turning around on us. Man, there's certain times where I feel like I'm on it, and a little bit is right now, and there's a reason why. I don't got a million positions open. So the pressure comes down on me, and I can look at the market a lot in more of a objective standard, right? Well, now you've gotten that little pop up. Now we're starting to come back down. Now is where you got to be careful and look to see if opening prices hold. Like Apple is a very important opening price. Opening price today of 179.34. You just broke that right now. You're at 179.20s. So I'm looking at those opening prices now. SPY, is it heading towards the open? It is. Open is 448.40s. We'll see if that holds there. Qs, right back towards that 370 mark. You guys, I've been talking about it all day, just literally calling it to a key on the index. Why? It's not necessarily that I want you guys to like kind of trade off of this, but looking for these levels, right? And then you seeing what happens at those levels. Quick level was really quickly right here, and it tried to come back up through that 374, failed. Came back to support, failed there. Then it comes back to the next support, fails there, fails at VWAP. Now you're back towards the 50 moving average on the 5-minute. We'll see if it holds there. Next level from there, 371. And if that can't hold, that's where we really got to be careful. That's the breakdown move, and you could see some stocks start to let go. Big stock to watch for me is just Microsoft. I've talked about this countless times this week. As Microsoft continues lower, I don't see this market coming back. And with that being said, like a pop today on AI, very short-lived. Very short-lived. Glad I got out of my long and AA. Careful out there. Yeah, I hear you, Scuba. Take what you can get, right? You got a nice little gain, and it pushed up. And you're like, well, you know what? I see basic materials turning around, and look at that. Look how quickly that turned around on AA. Let's go to FCX, see if that turns around. Yeah, copper was really strong earlier. Look how that just quickly came back. That's where you got to be careful, team, especially when that sector is now leading to the downside from the open. That's when I start being careful. I'm along those names right now. Ah, shit, I might be caught. Ah, shit, here we go again.
Yeah, we do need a nice live action of the Grand Theft Auto meme. Love it. We do need a correction 13. This is definitely something that I've been waiting for. I don't think I'm alone in that.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone in that at all. We'll see what happens, guys. Keep it going.
You guys are saying VTGN. Yep, VTGN. That's a good one. That is a good call, guys.
We'll take a look at that. I'll put you up.
There are a couple. Our chat is awesome.
They on fire.
They're on fire. And real, man. I sold that at 276, 282 now. Bummer. Got a couple of thousand shares of that too. That'd have been pretty decent.
All right, we'll see what else is going on, but definitely Nvidia. Let's go. Let's go. Don't get back above VWAP. Just keep the leak going all day long. I won't be mad at you. I won't be mad at you. It's already giving me about 1% here. I'm thinking about taking some gain here, just to make sure that if it does come back, I took some gain today, right? And that's how this market is for me right now. A lot of the times, just don't want to give up gains. I'm keeping a close watch, especially on the Qs. If we can go lower and the SPY can break that kind of opening price, that's going to be important. Let's go ahead and draw that out here.
Do you think PPI will have much an effect tomorrow? Do you think a lot of people are watching PPI as well?
Yeah, they have a tendency of thinking that, Nick, is a leading indicator, and they think of CPI as a lagging indicator. And I'm talking about traders mainly, not necessarily economists, but a lot of people have a tendency of thinking that it's the leading indicator, Nick. So, like, they think that, CPI is what normally is the most important. But then for some reason, what do we get right after it? We get PPI. So then it kind of knocks that all out, right?
I was going to say, Mitch, it's interesting that Atlanta Fed Q3 GDP is up, I think, 4.1%. I know we're way out, but it just goes to show that this economy is still growing way faster than I think a lot of people expected, and better than expected. And the GDP model just continues to go up. I believe we'll get another update next Tuesday or Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So Tuesday or Wednesday, but going from 3.1 or like 3 to like 3.5, 3.9. Now we're at near 4%. I know we don't get Q3 GDP until I think October, November area, maybe before that. But it just goes to show that if trends continue to move higher, I expect a lot of S&P targets to continue to go up. I expect earnings targets to go up. I continue to see that from people that the Fed is doing the correct job. we're going to have to watch GDP. We're going to have to watch China data. We're going to have to watch PPI, CPI. I believe we get Fed minutes on Wednesday. That should give some color to what the Fed sees for the September meeting. We get Jackson Hole this month. There's a lot to ponder on.
Yeah, there is. And I'm looking right now at taking a shot on something that I don't think many people are thinking about today. And I think that a lot of people really quickly forgot about the banks. The banks look pretty weak for me today. So I'm thinking about taking a shot on an FAZ to the upside and just more like a swing trade for Mumu, right? Because it's just kind of standing around here, the FAZ. And I could see if it could come back through this trend line and close green today. So it'll move back through 750s. This would look really bullish. So I have no problem taking a swing trade on here. The only thing is, where do I come after it? Do I come after it right now for the 17 break or the 1685 pullback? That's where it gets a little difficult. So I'm looking at the level 2 to tell me what is setting up here. So I see a lot of volume at 1709 and 1711. That's going to be the first wall. But then I also see this 46,000 at 1684. That tells me to look for maybe that pullback towards 85 and then take my shot. So I want the market maker maybe to come try to drag that towards that 84, that big volume that's sitting there. Take some of that. I'll be sitting there waiting too. And then I'm going to look for the pop back above 17 today on FAZ. You guys getting a far outlook into a swing trade that I'll probably end up taking. If you want to find out more about this later today, you guys can check it out on Start Swing Trade. All right, guys, it's 10:52. We definitely can't miss here. It's 10:53 already, and we can't miss the next thing that's coming up, guys. So we're going to be all on top of getting out of here at probably about like 10:58. We'll get out. Driving the future with electric vehicles coming up. Chris Ketchy, don't miss it, guys. A lot of companies coming in here. Battery-powered names, charging station names, EV names. You guys don't want to miss it. That's coming up next at 11.
SNCE for you penny players. I know Smoke Tuna called this earlier. SNCE really just kind of raging here. That one's kind of interesting.
Yeah, small little bounce there. I'm looking at the 5-minute candle to see if it goes and stays in the green, or do we continue the trend of lower highs on
VKTX has been good. Smoke Tuna definitely had a good day. Really impressed with your entry in a 13 handle on VKTX. Definitely should have followed you in there then. Doing really well. Love to see it. You love to see it.
Mm-hmm. Nvidia, multiple wicks now. I'm just keeping an eye on it. Definitely don't want it to come back through the 430 area here. If it does come back through the 430s, it could squeeze right back to the top of the range today. So just keeping a close eye on it. I've already set break-even stops, so I'm just hands off on this trade and looking to make the big win. It's either going to be break-even, I'm out, or I make a big win. Am I going to be mad about that? By no means necessary. We'll see what happens there, guys.
Raz says, I need this stream to finish so that I can shower. Love the dedication to supporting us, Raz. Absolutely love that.
Now, why you need to shower? Is it because of the trading action?
I think he probably hasn't had his morning shower yet. Jay is saying, you guys realize 5 EV companies have filed Chapter 11 most respects. Yes, definitely. And that's one of the reasons why I don't think it's going to be some of these flash in the pan companies that are going to be your best EV stocks or EV leaders. Maybe you get some moves in the stock price, but I don't know. How's Mullen doing? That's my favorite. How's Mullen doing?
I don't know. I have a little faith in Fisker in the long run, but yeah, that could disappear. I like their cars. I don't know why. I got to drive one of these, man. I really got to go drive one of these Oceans. I really like them. If anyone's driven the Ocean or seen the Ocean, let me know. I mean, let's just be honest. It was a reach for capital, and they got their capital.
Aura Alpha, not only is this a nice comment, I'm moving here full time for the other trading show. You guys are just plain dope sauce. Much appreciated. Really appreciate the support. That's what we try to do here. We try to bring entertainment and a processed approach to raise the tide for everyone here. So absolutely love to hear this. We'll keep the seat warm for you, man. Thanks for your support.
Yeah, and always willing to take feedback. That's where I think a lot of
Absolutely.
other
Good call, Mitch.
chat rooms probably wouldn't. So if you
Good
guys have any
call.
feedback for us, hey, you let us know. And you can always reach us out on emails, right? I'll drop in my email here. Ryan can drop in his email here. And we got you guys. You guys can always reach out to us or just reach out to us on something else. We're always available. I know Ryan and I always are. So there you guys see it. Mitch at Benzinga.com. Ryan Faloona at Benzinga.com. Hit us up.
If you want to email me, I check emails midnight. So
yeah. Nick Brown's up at midnight. Ryan and I are sleeping at midnight, but
I will say this: Nick Brown has consistently been the first message that I see in the morning, almost every morning. Nick Brown,
guy right there.
When I get up in the morning, I check my Slack. Most of the time, I don't have a message. When I get out of the shower, I check my Slack again, and like clockwork, Nick Brown is there waiting to get stuff done.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah, I'm with you on the chat. Todd talking about we should have taken the CVNA short. We should have done that one yesterday, man. When they gave that good guidance, I was like, yo, this has like they're trying their best, the PR, to get it back up there, right? They held this PR. They were like, okay, we're gonna hold this into a real negative day, and we're gonna try to bring our stock back. They tried to bring the stock back, and they couldn't do it. You can see it here. It went to a high yesterday of 48s, trying to go back to this resistance line and fails. Now starting to fill the gap and looking like it's letting go of the trend. This looks to me like it's coming back to the 50 moving average. I see 32.41s there. Carvana not looking good there.
One thing to keep in mind here on Carvana, taking a look at the short interest here, we actually have our short interest was updated as of yesterday.
Nice.
The percent of float shorted has dropped by nearly 10%, just about a 9% drop, and about 1/10 of a day to cover, or 1/13 of a day to cover drop. So short interest across the board has dropped, although kind of minor. The percent float of short shows the biggest drop. Excuse me.
Like it. All right. We'll see what happens there. XOM, is it going to come back and get me out? It's bouncing right now. So that's why I gave it a little bit of room today. It's not like I was just going to hit the out button immediately on XOM, but I know my out now. Below 110s, I don't want to be in the name anymore. BTU coming back down there to those levels. I love when the chat helps me out. Joe, thank you. Thank you. And it's not, you're not telling me to trade it, but you're definitely giving me the heads up. Like, yo, Mitch, you were talking about these levels. You might not want to watch this. That's what I say. Love, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
All green on my day trades today. All green.
Nice, Ryan.
All
That's
green.
what I love to hear, my friend.
3 for 3. Yep, we'll take that. And I started with in the red because of my Disney short that's not going to work out, and I clawed it all back today. So good day at the office, at least so far.
Now I got to determine FAZ or BTU. I'm thinking BTU. So I like the pullback here. I just needed to come back a good amount though. So right now is not the time that I'm going to pull the trigger. I need to see some sideways consolidation here. And so that's another trick that I try to use, right? Is I look for sideways consolidation. I'm going to look for a move back down towards the support of 2288s, then start seeing sideways consolidation below 23. That's when I can start adding. Right now, it's picking that move towards 23 right now. And so I'd be looking for a pullback below that and then give me some sideways action right here where you had sideways action last time. So that's over here in this space. We'll look to see if we can get into that space. And then where can I start risking off of? Well, just look to make sure that you know where your risk is going to be. Somewhere in the 2250 area, I can start risking off of that level. And so we're looking at like probably about like a 30-cent risk area. And so what would that mean? That means I have to at least make 90 cents on the upside. 90 cents needs to make sense there. And what makes sense there, right back to the resistance, is what? That's a move of about $1.07. So I'm always thinking about what does my mathematical probability make sense here? Always before the trade. If that makes sense, then I can go ahead and take the trade. But if it doesn't make sense, I'll quickly be like, no, Mitch, you might like the trade, but it doesn't make sense.
All right, Mitch, I got a dip. Got to get out.
Let's go. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, man. Let's wrap it up. Let's bring you guys to the EV webinar. Don't miss it, guys. Stay right here. You guys want to let me know who was the best perform interview on this webinar. I want to hear it at Start Swing Trade. Let me know which company did the best. Catch it right here. Don't go anywhere.